And we're looking at tonight's feature match, the Perler feature match, brought to you by PerlerWrestling.com for camps and much more. Corey Clark, Ryan Taylor, they wrestled twice as freshmen 2 years ago. They split. So this is the rubber match right now. It's their third time. They didn't meet last year. They met as 125-pounders, each winning. So, a couple of All-Americans going at it right now.
Well, Ryan Taylor was the #2 seed in the NCAA tournament last year, and Corey Clark finished &2. So you just know that these two are competitive. Big Ten runner-up, Ryan Clark, and Corey Clark Ryan Taylor was #2 in the Big Tens, lost to Chris Cardanes in the finals, Minnesota, and so this is a great matchup this time of year. This is an opportunity for somebody like Ryan Taylor to really kind of step up to the next level. He's explosive. Again, he puts up a lot of points, and so does Clark.
Clark's only loss of the year came last weekend at Illinois, where Zane Richards,
he's really been hot at that weight.
Right,
yeah.
He won in sudden victory.
This is what Corey Clark likes to work off of, that 2-on-1. He does as good a job as anybody. He'll attack the far side of the body off of it, which is the right leg of Ryan Taylor. On one direction with it. He'll try to slide by with it.
Ryan Taylor, a high school teammate of Zeke Jordan from St. Paris Graham High School in Ohio. And Corey Clark out of Pleasant Hill, Iowa, Southeast coached by Chad Christensen.
Yeah, and that's good work by both men, because Clark likes that 2-on-1, and Taylor was able to stay out of that technique, and then he attacked with a blast double, and Clark was able to stop that. So shots by both guys. Clark is as good as anybody in the country working that 2-on-1. He really puts a lot of weight on it. And when he grabs it, it just feels like he can't get it back. And he's working hard, going to one side. See if he's got a kind of an advantage here against Taylor. He's going to go back the other direction. He gets in on a leg. Taylor's trying to get that leg back. There's not a cradle lock, but good work by Taylor, staying square. But you know what? You're living in dangerous territory if you're going to spend the whole first period in that position. It's tiring here for somebody like Taylor to spend in that position where your head's stuffed, your arms are getting worked over pretty good. After a while, it just becomes a foot race around the corner.
Ryan Taylor, this is only his third match of the year, fighting a variety of injuries.
Taylor comes back into it, drops in on an ankle. He's got a hold of the ankle. The referee's looking there to see if the leg has been laced. It's not. So, again, you mentioned
2 points.
He's got the
behind both arms there for a second. The hands on the mat. 2 points for Clark. 1 point escape.
Got a pretty good feeling that Barry Davis may work back, but I don't think it's going to be insignificant, because Clark is able to go ahead and get the takedown. A lot of heavy lifting being done by Ryan Taylor in that down position underneath that 2-on-1. And he's as good here in this top position, just kind of like what we saw with Gilman earlier, but really tough in the top position, has a long reach. Finish the period in the top position, and
Barry will get their attention. Barry's going to converse with the official about that first takedown.
Yeah, no question about it. He's going to look at that first takedown, but he's got to make this move anyway, I think, just to get some rest for Taylor. So right now, it looks to me like Taylor has that ankle, all right? And then when he loses it here in this position, that's when the official decided to go ahead and give it.
That's when the two, and I don't think there's sufficient enough evidence over whatever he called. Might not have had to call it, but he called the 2 points, and I doubt if that's overturned. If it is, they have to go back to that time.
Yeah. And so they're taking it a little. And the impressive part of that takedown was actually the second takedown that he offered up. The referee, I think, offered up a pretty quick escape. And so it could be 4-1. It could be actually 2-0 in this situation. So right here, and if you freeze it and he gets his, let's go forward just a little bit further, right? And he's able to go ahead and get that ankle free right there. And that's when the referee immediately issued the 2 points, okay? And so the question is, did Taylor really actually get out for a true escape?
And that's where he gave
I think
the one.
he did.
Yes.
Yep. And now this is impressive right here. He feels the weakness in Taylor right now, and he comes across with that right hand and drives across. That was, to me, the impressive takedown there in the grouping.
Very nice leverage and pry job, and they're going to, I don't know what they're going to say here.
Yeah, I don't think this changes. I think Coach Brands is kind of would like to see the match move along a little bit. So far there's been no change in score. Now there's just some pointing going on. And this is where we have to get a little bit better at this. You know, a lot of time has gone off the clock, or not off the clock, but a lot has passed, and it's almost a new match right now. Okay, he has the ankle, see the right hand around the ankle, and he's able to free it, and he is all the way behind. And I think with the official, they've changed the score on the scoreboard to reflect 2-0, but it's clear that Ryan Taylor has escaped right there at that point. So they're saying that that wasn't a clear escape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he had the choice: either leave it the way it was, 4-1, or not offer up an escape. And who knows what they're going to do? But it's 2-0 on the scoreboard.
And you're exactly right, Jim. What they did was gave the takedown. No escape, so there wasn't a second takedown. It's 2-0,
yeah,
and we're getting ready for the second period.
And I don't agree with that. You know, that was clearly an escape. So, you know, see why Coach Brands got out there, and now Ryan Taylor's a new man out there.
He chose neutral.
Yeah. So Taylor chooses neutral. We're back to the same 2-on-1 position. Again, 2-0 lead.
Taylor, who tore a labrum in his shoulder and bicep in the Big Ten tournament last year, really has been coming back from that injury. It's only his third match of the year. He's 1-1. He lost the first match. Pittsburgh.
He has not owned his own arms in this match at all. Clark has been so rough on that. See that right hand wrist ride right there? All right, and how he gets to that 2-on-1 and drifting, his footwork, you know, he's going to come to the left and believe he can free up his right hand. So he can't quite free because that elbow tie right there. So I can't think for very much in this match where Taylor is there right there. He's owned his own arms, right? But for the rest of it, Clark has had possession of his head and arms for about 4 minutes.
Well, when you talk about working the head, it doesn't get any more defined than what Clark has been doing. He's been working the head.
And Taylor, if he finds a way to your point, if Taylor can find a way to win this match, you know, all this battling he's done in the early part of this period, they're trying to stay square and not giving up. But see that 2-on-1, how he pushes that wrist in, and the angle that puts on your trap and your delt muscle right there. It's just unusual. You don't train for that. You do curls and triceps and push-ups and all that stuff, but you don't do anything where you have yourself in that position where your elbow's out and your wrist is in so far. And it's a very effective way to work on somebody's arm.
Okay, we'll go. Now, that was
Clark's choice now. He'll choose down position.
And he'll get ready. He's leading 2-0. No riding time. These guys have a history. 2 years ago, they wrestled twice. They split. They did not wrestle last year at 133. They wrestled at 125 2 years ago. Caution.
Did you see that look, though? That's a great camera angle. If you can get back to that look of the shot of him. Great camera angle. He's not even looking at the official. How do you know when the whistle is going to be blown? Right? If you don't look at the official, you can tell when the official inhales, all right, and exhales. You have to have that type of vision. You're not even looking at it. Right? You're going totally on what you hear, and your ears are covered up with a headgear.
Escape by Clark. Out in front 3-0. Working on that 2-on-1 again.
Yep, he's keeping, this time Taylor's getting a little bit offensive with it, trying to hook. But now Clark is overhooked. Now they're going to elevate through. Guy who has, this is a scramble situation. The guy who has his head up can win the scramble. Right?
2 points for Taylor. It's 3-2.
That was quick too, but now at this stage, he probably does have it. Now the official with the head and arm, is going to call stalling.
And I think stalling on Taylor, yeah.
Yep, and I think Taylor will take that call.
The side headlock, same as going below and on the lower legs. You can't stay down there without the official starting to count. On a 5 count, it's a warning. Just happened to Taylor. He was on the side headlock for 5 counts. Eric Lerke gives him the warning.
And I think what happened there is that Taylor just made the decision, hey, I'm getting beat here in the upper body. Maybe I can do something with my lower body to score.
Escape by Clark. It's 4-2. There's no riding time. There's 1:15 left in regulation. In on the leg, Clark.
Nice job by Taylor coming back around. Does have a lock up around the chest, and he's got the leg locked.
But Clark also is cut off across the double.
Yeah, and now probably looking at a situation where you're going to get some sort of pass. Nope. Nice job by Clark.
Yeah, he was able to cut off in the same time he had the cradle hooked up on him. 2 points.
You can see, Tim, where Taylor is dangerous. Okay? This is just his 3rd match back. But he's shown some things here, particularly in the early part of the match. I know we had a big break, but pretty hard to expect the consistency when your 3rd match back against the 2 or 3 ranked guy. But this is tough action right here.
Clark got 25 seconds, trying to settle in and get underneath get shoulder to shoulder. Looks like Clark, with his 6-2 lead, almost 10 seconds left, is going to win this 3rd match. Great competitive history and rivalry between these two. 1-point escape. It'll end 6-3. No, with riding time. 7-3. Riding time for Clark makes it 7-3. 3 more points on the board for the Hawkeyes.